Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawoman Radio. I'm Amy, and tonight we have skincare and suspects. And so, with me for this magical ride, I have Angela. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Amy. How are
How are
you?
you? I'm doing well. I'm actually a little nervous about tonight, but other than that, I'm okay.
Oh, girl, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
I'm just. I almost lost all my notes though, just like 5 minutes before. Like I lost all my notes and I couldn't remember where I had did it because I'm using my Chromebook, and I almost didn't have anything because it's going to be
Oh,
more
that's
me
always fun
talking
times.
than video for
Yeah.
my portion. You look beautiful tonight.
No,
This
you're
is
so
like
sweet.
your
Thank you.
color. You look in the stripes,
Oh,
very nice. And your makeup
thank you,
too looks
Amy.
really good. You're welcome.
But listen, if it makes you feel any better, I spill a whole gigantic bottle of water all over everything. I mean, all over everything. So,
Oh, I hate when I do that. I really do. Luckily, I didn't do that. But I want to welcome everyone to Para Women Radio. Tonight, we are doing skincare and suspects, and we are talking about the Casey Anthony new docu-series, Where the Truth Lies. Isn't it funny that she has Where the Truth Lies, and there's truth and lies? No, it doesn't mean lies, but she's got lies in there.
yeah, where the truth lies. I mean, does
Mhm.
it?
It
Yeah.
does lie because what truth she's telling, in my opinion, is a lie.
In my
It's
opinion
like
as well. Yeah.
she's back a decade and a half later to ensnare the new generation of people that are into true crime that don't really know much about this story. And
I
she
completely
does a good
agree.
job. She does a good job. If I didn't know anything about this case and I just watched just these videos, I, I would think, yeah, she's innocent, probably, maybe, possibly.
Amy, she's definitely believable. Like
Mm,
I think you nailed it. If you didn't know anything about the case and you just watched this documentary, I definitely see where you could believe her. You could believe the narrative that she's painting, you can definitely believe it.
hmm And she's a very good liar. We know she's a very good liar. Um, and that's the thing. I took certain notes and I just kind of want to go in a timeline, but that's what she comes out and she says, I am a convicted liar. And she's just out, she's saying, I lied. And the whole beginning of it is just, yeah, I lied. I lied. Yeah, I lied about that. Yeah, I lied. I made myself look dumb. Yeah, I lied. I lied because I was conditioned to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's this is and it's for people that don't know what we're talking about. The new docu series. It's on Peacock, and a lot of the Peacock subscribers are saying, "I don't want you anymore. If you're going to give this woman a platform, I no longer want to subscribe to you." And so Peacock is losing some subscribers due to this, Kate, due to this docu series.
Well, I think after people watch this, they're going to I mean, I see where it could be really easy to have that opinion. I mean, I see that mindset because she paints this narrative that is in my opinion completely unbelievable. And I mean, does a zebra lose its stripes? Once a liar always a liar? Can you believe something that somebody who is a pathological liar, do they ever tell the truth?
Well, here's the thing. What she's done is she has done her research. She has studied. She has studied. She says she's been in treatment for she was in treatment immediately, and she's been in treatment for over, well, I think this case happened like, was it 14 or 15 years ago? Um so she
14 years ago. Yes.
was it 14? Okay, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
she's been studying for to tell us her story. Uh she was set to tell her story right after the trial, but what had happened was that um, news agencies that were wanting to work with her were getting a ton of backlash, and they were very unhappy because she had sold some pictures to a media outlet, and she, I think it was like for 250,000. It was for quite a bit, and it went to her legal fund, but people were very angry that she was getting money off of her daughter's death.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to also note that she works for a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So, over all of these 14 years, she has worked for this attorney. So, she has learned, all of the behind the scenes, the way to act, the things to say, in my opinion. So, it's only added gas to the fire.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually the private eye that she's living with or was living with, but yeah, the attorney is in there. Two of the attorneys are in there, and what they're doing is okay. So Casey Anthony did a uh, I forget what it was. But I do remember seeing she was in this paneled room, and she did like an interview, and it was like 2 years ago, and I feel like she was like putting her little baby toe into the water to see, how it felt, how were people going to respond to her, and she didn't really get that bad of a response. It was just kind of like meh. But then now she's like putting her big toe in the water, and they're putting it in because they're getting ready for her to do like, it's going to be a true crime whirlwind. She's going to do a book. She's probably going to sell something for a mini series or something. She's set to make money. That's what she's doing.
I definitely
It's been
agree
up
with
in,
that.
I'm sorry,
And
go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, it just has been up and down. There's been reports where she has gotten paid for this, and there's reports that she hasn't got paid for this, and then there's reports that she, gave all the video and photo footage, and so she got paid for that again. So we don't know if she got paid this time, but she's getting paid some way. Sorry, I'm just
Oh,
really.
she's definitely, I know, she's definitely making money, in my opinion, as well. And if you watch the whole 3 episodes, I mean, I don't know if this is just going to be just these 3 episodes, but it almost leaves you questioning, like, is there going to be more? Not
Oh,
maybe
there's
not
going
on
to be more.
Peacock, but is there going to be more?
There's going to be more, like what you said, maybe not on Peacock, but there is definitely, like this red light here. Anyway, now I messed it up. I there's gonna be more. Regard the 100%. They're setting her up for more. So, and so what I actually did was I only went in and I only have notes on the first one. I released the first Peacock, the first what is it when it's a three part? Like, is it the first, the second, and the third, or is it the first segment? I don't know. Anyway, I released the first um, or hour of it, the first number one of the docu series. I released that on my page, And that's the only one that I'm going to talk about tonight because I've got a lot of notes on that one and I just went on and on and on. So I thought like we could either do another part or I could even just finish the second and the third um, by videos, not lives. But I so that's the introduction to the Casey Anthony case and how I feel about it. Why don't we go into what the skincare is going to be tonight? Unless you had something.
Yeah,
Did you want
let's
to
jump
add
right into
something
the
about
skincare.
that before we go into the skincare? Was there anything wanted to say?
There's a lot I want to say because it just wow, there's so much. I will just say really quickly that I think sometimes it's really unfair when you have just one side. When you have just one person that is throwing all of these allegations, they're just throwing them out there and it's just one-sided. So that is one thing that I felt like was unfair about all of this is it's just her side. So, if you are somebody who is brand new to this case, then I really, really want to encourage you to go back, go way, way back to the beginning. And it's going to be 2011. And, watch everything before you just form your opinion. And after
Yeah.
you have watched everything, then see where your opinion stands with all of it.
Yeah, her parents, the Anthonys, George and Cindy, have been very vocal, and they have been the ones that in the past people have believed. And the problem is I think it was like a year ago, George was in a horrible accident, and Cindy says she spends most of her days taking care of George. So Casey knows that her mother and father, her father's very ill and her mother's busy taking care of her father. And so they probably aren't going to be as vocal as they have in the past because, and they're getting older.
They're definitely getting older. And I just can't say enough that I really want to encourage you to watch all of it. Go back and dig up everything that you can because,
Mhm.
that old saying, don't judge a book by its cover, is so, so true, specifically in this case. Like the narrative that she tries to paint, via the Peacock doc is not, it just doesn't add up. It just does not add up. Everything that she alleges to and she claims, um, it just doesn't add up. There are certain people in your life that have influences on you that can persuade you, but when you are a mother, there is just a natural instinct that takes over you. I mean, you can't even control it. It just takes over and it just doesn't add up. So watch everything that you can find before you just try to form an opinion based off of this Peacock documentary.
Absolutely.
But anyways, as far as the skincare with the skincare and suspects, we're going to be talking about vitamin C. Vitamin C is one of those ingredients that I believe in. I use it in my AM skincare routine. I have used it for about 4 years. When you ever go down the rabbit hole of skincare, you start to recognize certain words, collagen and antioxidant. There are certain words that you start to recognize. And vitamin C is going to be one of those ingredients that is going to be your antioxidant. And in that antioxidant, you are going to have free radical protection. So that is going to be anything from, all of the nasty pollutants that are just floating around in the air to the sun's UV rays. You're going to want to have any type of protection from just the daily stressors of life. And vitamin C is going to give you that. It's going to help you with not only that, but it's going to help with fine lines and wrinkles. It's going to help even your skin tone complexion. It's going to help with your skin elasticity. As we get older, we lose collagen, we lose elasticity in our skin. And anytime we can use an ingredient that is really going to help boost our elastin in our skin, that's going to help keep your skin firm. And you can use an ingredient like vitamin C that is going to help to actually produce collagen, because we lose that as we age. It's definitely going to be one of those ingredients that you are going to want to go down the rabbit hole of incorporating into your skincare regimen.
Awesome. So I love vitamin C too. I use it for brightness. It brightens my skin. That's what I've always used it for. Um, and when you said you were going to talk about vitamin C, I had been out of my vitamin C, and I thought, oh my gosh, how can I go and talk about vitamin C and I'm not even taking it or using it? Um, but I did. I went out and I bought a product, and I made sure it had vitamin C in it, and it has peptides in it. And vitamin C and peptides sold. I just love vitamin C and I'm a fan of vitamin C and I'm a fan of peptides. So,
Absolutely. And we are going to toss a little giveaway in this
ooh,
live. Uh, we will just kind of wait and play it by ear and see if we have anybody that comments. And if we don't, then maybe we can, do this giveaway for 48 hours after you upload this video. Somebody can just leave a comment. Any comment, you can say whatever you want to, and we'll kind of filter through those comments and put it in a random drawer. But we're going to actually be giving away one of my absolute favorite vitamin C's. This is
mhm,
going to be your vitamin C in the form of L-ascorbic acid.
mhm.
A beautiful, beautiful product. Anybody that is lucky enough to win this is going to absolutely love it. So that's super, super exciting. But vitamin C
That
is
is
definitely
really
one of those
exciting.
ingredients.
That's what is it called? What
Yeah.
is the name of what is the name in the giveaway?
This is by the brand Timeless.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of it, but I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
heard of a lot of the brands. So
Well,
how did
this
it
is
become
kind of a
famous?
dupe. Well, it's a dupe.
We're on
This is
a time delay.
actually
We're on a sound delay, you guys. So if you're wondering what the heck is going on, that's what's happening.
this is going to be 1 ounce. This is a brand new package, and this is actually a dupe for the super, super expensive SkinCeuticals, which is ridiculously expensive. The SkinCeuticals is about $170 for 1 ounce, and it is vitamin C and vitamin E and ferulic. And this is also vitamin C, vitamin E, and ferulic. So, I fell in love with this vitamin C about 3 years ago because of the consistency of the product, how quickly it absorbs into my skin. It has a lot of additional ingredients that are really clean ingredients, that are hydrating, moisturizing ingredients. So I'm really, really super excited to be able to give this away, because this is a absolutely phenomenal vitamin C.
Awesome. And if you don't win and you still want to use that vitamin C, we're going to put links down in the description down below, and it'll take you right to um, where Angela likes to buy it.
Yeah, because really quickly, they had a really, really good Black Friday sale and a Cyber Monday sale, where they had 40% off of this. But if you just go straight to the website and buy this, it comes in right around $27.
Mhm.
And when you're talking about, under $30 compared to $170 for a completely almost identical ingredient deck, I mean, you would be crazy not to buy that under $30. And I just can't
Yeah.
say enough. Anybody who tries this vitamin C is really, really going to love it. It's a beautiful, beautiful vitamin C.
Awesome. I have never tried it, but now I want to try it.
Well, Santa
So,
comes in a few weeks, Amy.
yeah, right.
So,
The one that I got is just like it's a cream, a lotion that has, I guess, the vitamin C in it. I don't know what type of vitamin C it is. I know that like with the vitamin C's when they're in the oil forms, you have to keep it dark and it can't be exposed to light and but I don't think this is one of those ones that you can't expose it to light and whatnot.
yeah, there definitely is a couple of different types of vitamin C's. You're going to have your oil soluble vitamin C and you're going to have your water soluble vitamin
Ooh, I'm
C.
disappearing.
Um, your oil soluble vitamin C is going to be one that is more stable.
Hmm.
It's not going to oxidize as quickly as your water soluble. This is actually going to be a water soluble vitamin C. But one really, really easy way to make your vitamin C stretch a little bit longer is just to keep it refrigerated. If you just pop this in the refrigerator every morning after you use it, you're going to really quickly turn a 60 or 90-day shelf life product into a 120, 140-day shelf life product. So that's
Nice.
just something to remember. Just pop it in the fridge and kind of forget about it until you need to use it the next morning.
That's nice. And they even have those little refrigerators you can keep on your vent or in your bathroom or wherever you want to keep it now. I used to have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to it. Wish I had it still.
Yeah, I actually, this is so random, but we went to Walmart one day and I got a Dr. Pepper mini fridge.
Hmm.
I don't, this is the most random thing. It was on clearance for $10. And I was like, I don't give a hoot. I don't even drink Dr. Pepper, but I'm buying it.
Hmm.
And she's been going strong for like 2 years. So,
Nice. Yeah, I would put
yeah.
stickers all over mine and just make it fun. So even if it was a Dr. Pepper, it wouldn't matter.
Well, Amy, tell me your opinion about what you have watched so far with the Where the Truth Lies. What do you think?
Okay. So what I think is like in the beginning we see her moving into like it was a 1 month B&B and they're like she's saying that the reason she doesn't want it to be filmed at her home was because that's her like safe space and she doesn't want it invaded and that plus she has a roommate and so she goes and she brings I just don't understand why she brought so much stuff for a month. I just kept thinking even if I like go away, she like brought coffee mugs and she brought a bunch of photos, which I get why she brought a bunch of photos, but she literally took the photos out and hung them up on the wall. And I'm like, come on. And it was just seemed like such a production. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, this is like, I don't mean to make every case go back to the Watts case, but it just kind of like hit me like when I found out that Chris Watts was putting photos of his kids up in his cell. I just felt sick about it. And watching her do that, and it was such a production. And there are tears. There are tears in this. There are tears. So if you were waiting for the waterworks from her, we got them. We got them. And there's just like tons of footage of that part going back for when she was brought into the police station and she she says the producer periodically will ask her like questions, and like questions like she didn't know they were coming. She tries to act like she didn't know. Like she said that she didn't approve of all the questions beforehand, but it just seems that the questions come on cue, and 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 she just knows, they all know when to pick up the ball and say what they say, and it all matches up somehow. And they weren't supposed to be questions that were asked beforehand. I just will never believe that she
Yeah.
would approve the questions beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually saw this thing where they had asked Nancy Grace to if she wanted to kind of be the question asker, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a scripted questions, and she said no, absolutely not, I will not do this if I can't ask her the questions that I want to, and this is going to be scripted. Like, there's no way that I will do it. And
Mm-hmm.
I will also add that Casey really strikes me as you know a victim. And I don't ever want to downplay anybody that has ever been in a victim situation, but it doesn't ever matter with her what the situation, what the question. She's just always the victim. She always has an answer. She always has a really good answer.
Mm-hmm.
And I always keep going back to, being a mama. I can't imagine anything ever happening in my life that had so much power or control over me where that natural instinct wouldn't kick in, where you are. She plays this narrative. you know if my kid is missing for 3 days, let alone one full day, it does not matter who is telling me this or who is telling me that. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not
and then
believing it.
she says to the producer, she goes, I still don't know. She said, everybody looks to me and wants to know the answer of what happened to Kaylee. And she goes, and I still don't know. And the producer goes, what? And she says, what did she say? What happened to Kaylee? She says, I know what haunts me, because she knows what she went through. And it's like, come on. Come
I know,
on.
Amy, and it's like, I know, and it's like she says that narrative, but then it's just something that a lot of I've seen a lot of people talk about is let's just say that you're in this situation where somebody is kind of driving your narrative.
Mm-hmm.
They're being your words, they're being your voice, they're telling you every move that you make.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to your children, and they're in control. They have the power and they're leading everything.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, if I, as a mother, am in a situation like that where I don't know where my daughter is, and I
Mm-hmm.
have this person who is leading everything, but then
Mm-hmm.
at the end of those nights, I am going and I'm getting drunk and I'm partying and I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
tattoos and I'm just living my absolute best life. It's really hard for me as a mama to kind of connect the dots for those things. Like, if you are leading the narrative and you're like, well, I have your daughter and she's safe and all that, I'm not partying. I'm not getting drunk. I'm sitting at home waiting to find
Mm-hmm.
out where the heck's my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do next? So it's really hard for me to just kind of, as a puzzle. I do puzzles. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
really hard for me just to kind of put the puzzle pieces together, and even just a little bit make sense of anything that she says, because it just doesn't work. It just does not make sense.
Well, no, her story doesn't make sense, and she You think you're gonna, if you think you're gonna get any answers here, you're not. There are some few things in this docu series that I took away that I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't realize. I'm jumping into further in, but I didn't realize how much George lied. But you know what? Do I think that Casey's home life was perfect before this happened? No. No. This family is, there are problems. There are problems in this household, and she did learn how to lie from her father. I believe that. I believe that is true because her father had issues, and we do learn from our parents, but boy, she took it and took the ball and just ran. Like, even her friends on here say her supposed to be one of her best friends, but I don't think she's spoken to Casey in a long time. The people that they have in this whole docu series is completely suspect anyway. Um, but her one friend that she said she was friends with Casey before this happened said Casey lied about everything. She lied, and why do you think she just lied about everything? And I feel like her whole family lied about everything. I do believe that her mother tried to push the narrative that it was a happy family and there were problems, but um Casey grew up in an era where families were different. They, and even now you try to put out that you're a perfect, you don't want to show the world your bad side. So, everyone tries to put their good side out, but just try to remember that Casey was grew up was in the 80s. That was when things things people were spending a lot of money
They
in
were
the
different.
80s. Yeah, things were different in the 80s, and families were different in the 80s. And the things that she says is like, like her mother wanted everything to be perfect, um and she said, and her father wanted everything to be perfect, and her her mother was the typical nurse and the father was the typical fireman. But then, Casey gets down and she digs in deep and says, like, but behind doors, my mother was an egomaniac and my father didn't work. And it's like, not.
Yeah.
Like, so that was like probably my family too. Although my dad did, it wasn't even my dad, but he worked, but I mean, things were not easy growing up in the 80s.
No, things were definitely not easy in the 80s. Things have changed so much, and I just think that it's really important also for people to remember, you know, if you were ever in a bad situation, no matter what that situation is, you you do your best to kind of separate yourself from that situation. And after watching the whole 3 episode doc, you know, it really, it, I felt kind of like everything she said was unbelievable, because if you have ever experienced a situation, then at all cost you separate yourself from that situation, and you also separate especially your children from that situation. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt a lot of times in things that she said, as far as keeping Kaylee, you know, from George, from keeping her, from being in a situation with George. She absolutely did not.
No, she did not.
George was
And
around Kaylee all the time.
Casey was lying, saying she was going to work, and we know she wasn't going to work. And who was watching Kaylee when she was lying, going to work all these hours and hours? It was George and Cindy. Kaylee was just kind of like those weekend dads that would pop through at, like at the end, okay, at the end of the day, and say goodnight to Kaylee and go out and party. She literally was. She was. Even though in the video, the dear friend says she wasn't, she was.
Oh, she absolutely was. And let's just take a scenario and say you have a father that is verbally abusive and he's just all the time degrading you, and then you have a daughter, and you know you separate her from the verbal abuse. That's important to you because you grew up with the verbal abuse, and that affected you, that affected the human that you turn into, the adult you turn into. It affected everything about your adulthood. Then you do everything in your power to, separate your children from that scenario. But that is not what happened. She claims this and that and this and that. But then as far as her daughter, she allowed those same people that she accused of horrific behavior to take care of her daughter. They were her daughter's primary caretakers. So I have a hard time believing anything that she claims and alleges because of the fact I know me as a mother, there's no way in hell. There is no way in hell if I experienced something like that my daughter would be in that situation. I mean,
No.
I would go
But
through
her
hell
excuse is
to prevent
always
it.
that she was conditioned. She was conditioned to do this. She kept her as safe as she could. You know, it was always
Yeah,
just,
but did you?
did she? Some, yeah.
Did you? Yeah, did you? Did you
She
keep her
did
as safe
say,
as you
I did
could?
hear
It
her
was.
say in the docu-series, she said, I had one job, and that was to keep my child alive. She did say that in the docu-series.
She did say that, Amy, but I mean, to keep your child alive, you know, that's a big, broad statement. To keep your child alive, nothing else was. You seem to let the smaller things go. It was. You seem to accept the smaller things. So it's hard for me to believe that you accepted those smaller things, but yet you just wanted to keep her alive. You
Hmm.
just wanted to keep
And
her
to
alive,
this
and at
day,
the end
she
of the
still
day, she
doesn't know
lost
what
her
happened
life.
to her child. To
Yeah.
this day, she says she doesn't know what happened to her child. Well, if you believe your father did this, then wouldn't you ask your father what happened to the child? But this whole time, she thought, even when she said she was in prison or jail waiting, she thought Kaylee was alive. She thought Kaylee was alive the 31 days that she was missing. She thought Kaylee was alive, I think, until it was like 2 weeks. There's video of her when it finally, the bones of Kaylee were found, and she's just brought in, and she's watching the TV, and she leans over and she knows the jig is up, but the jig wasn't up because somehow she managed to pull this off.
Yeah, and there's one thing that really stuck out to me watching the three-part series. She makes a comment where she says, where she's like, I know you just want to ask me, just ask me. I know you just want to ask me the question, like what happened to Kaylee. And she responds by saying that George gives her Kaylee, and she's cold and she's wet, and then he takes her and she doesn't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But as a mother, you know, I never believed this until I was a mother, that you just have a mother's intuition. You just have kind of like a natural instinct. I have it all the time. I experience it all the time. I cannot explain it. I don't know what it is other than just an intuition. It's something that takes over your being. It's something that
Mhm.
takes over your soul, and you can't react on it. It happens by itself.
Mhm.
And when she says that, it's really hard for me to believe that anything other than knowing something was wrong, knowing something wasn't right, I'm going to
Mhm.
react on this, to believe that she just said, okay, we're going to go for 30 days. We're going to go for a month, and I'm just going to go on this. That the fact that you
Mhm.
handed me my daughter cold and wet, we're just going to
Mhm.
go on this. I
Mhm.
just don't buy it.
Mhm. He handed it cold and wet, and then he took it back from. She says she took Kaylee. He took Kaylee back from her and said, "Don't worry about this. She's fine. I'm gonna make it okay." And then she just went off, and she didn't. She believed. She said she didn't remember any of this during the 31 days, and she didn't remember when the police were out investigating, looking for Kaylee. She didn't remember any of this. So it just seems so suspect and so out of, I guess she's asking us to believe a lot, but she tells it in a way that, yeah, I would believe her if I didn't know otherwise. And so, yeah. I want to take a break real quick and say thank you to all my new subscribers. I am getting probably like 10 a week, and I am so happy and so excited to see all of you. Um, but the thing that's happening with my channel is, and this is Para Women Radio, and you've got it tuned into Para Women Radio, and this is Skincare and Suspects, and I'm Amy, and I have Angela with Angela's Aging Essentials with me. But I am like, at that point for monetization where I have enough hours. I'm like over the hours, and you need 1,000 subscribers, and I'm at 350 subscribers. So I guess what's happening is people are coming to my page and watching my videos and not subscribing. So if you could take just a minute to like pop down, hit thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, whatever. It helps. It's just a completely free way to help my channel out. And I appreciate anything that you could do for me. And make sure you go over to Angela's channel and give her a thumbs up on any of her videos and subscribe. I always put her links down in the comments below. Okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And Rose popped in. Hi, Rose. She says, "Great job, ladies. Love you guys both. Love both. Love you too." Let's see.
You
She
know, I
thinks the
just
dad.
really want to quickly say, Amy, I just really want
Mhm.
to quickly say this. You know, if you're coming to Amy's channel and you're watching her videos, honestly, take the time to just subscribe to her channel, because I was like I'm still a really, really small channel. And I can remember Amy, I corresponded with her, and just, you know, there are people that God puts in your life for a reason, or a season, or a
Mhm.
lifetime. And I really quickly learned that Amy is one of those people that, she's really, really pure. She's really, really genuine. You know, so if you're coming over here and you're watching her videos, take the time to subscribe to her channel, because it's really, really going to help her out. You know, even when you get monetized, like it's it's very small.
Mhm.
So just keep in mind that you're paying it forward anytime you can do anything like that. So I just encourage you guys to subscribe to her channel, because she's what you see is what you get with her. You know, she really wants to just support others. She encourages others. She's very, very gracious at everything she does.
Yeah, I truly do want people to succeed, and it makes me happy helping others to do that. And thank you for saying all that. That's so kind, Angela.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. And excuse me a minute, my cat is tearing down something. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So getting back to Casey Anthony, I had mentioned that we were introduced to a lot of people. In the first episode, we are introduced to her defense team, some of her defense team. Jose Baez, is that his name? Jose. He wasn't. I think it's Jose Baez. He wasn't in the series, but the other one, which I wish I had wrote down his name. I wrote down the private eye who she lives with. Who that's Pat McKenna, and then I think there's a legal aid, but they even go to as far as to having this scene where she's at this Airbnb and the whole team shows up, not Jose Baez, but the one people that I just mentioned. They all show up and they have this loving meal around this table, and Casey is sitting at the head of the table, and they reach their arms out and they have a prayer, and they talk about how great Casey is and that her bio family failed her. When she left, the bio family didn't do anything for her, and her defense team had money set up for her. Not a lot. And I know she lived with one of the attorneys, and she has also lived with the private eye. And she says she likes her life. So let's go over to skincare, and what else do you have for us? I know there's the vitamin we for those that are just tuning in, we are doing a giveaway. Angela, what why don't you tell you have the product and you know what it is. It's a vitamin C, and all you have to do is put a comment in in our comments.
Yeah, you guys be sure and comment because this is a really, really beautiful vitamin C. This is going to be your L-ascorbic vitamin C. This is such a beautiful product, you guys. It's going to not only give you that antioxidant of the vitamin C, but it's going to hydrate and moisturize your skin. All you have to do is leave a comment, and then me and Amy will get with one another and choose one of you guys to win this. Vitamin C is going to be, that one ingredient that I just cannot stress enough. If you are into skincare and you are doing an AM skincare routine, it's really, really important to incorporate that vitamin C. It's going to be your, antioxidant that is going to encourage collagen production. It's going to help protect your skin against the sun's UV rays, the free radicals. Those free radicals are also those oxidative stressors, those pollutants that are just floating around in the air that you can't see but really will damage your skin. Vitamin C is such a beautiful, beautiful ingredient. And when you have the opportunity to just win a vitamin C, why in the world would you not? So be sure and leave a comment because this is a really, of all the vitamin C's that I have tried, this is my absolute favorite. I have purchased this golly, probably a dozen times. I have purchased this product. It absorbs into the skin really, 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 really beautifully. It doesn't leave your skin sticky or tacky. It
Mm-hmm.
pairs really beautifully with makeup. So this is going to be that product that you can put on your skin, then you can layer on your makeup, and you're not going to get that goopy, goppy, pilly mess. A really, really, really beautiful vitamin C. So be sure and leave a comment so we can pick a winner for that.
That's a scary, that's or not scary, but that's like a drag when you put your vitamin C on and then you put your makeup on and it just pills up and you're like, oh, I hate that. And I hate that feeling.
Amy, that is like a pet peeve. It's a
Yeah,
pet peeve. Like
hate
I
it.
hate it when I have everything done and I have went through all of the steps, and then I just cannot tell you how much it just sickens me. And then I go to put my makeup on and I got my foundation on and I'm feeling good and I'm patting it in and rubbing it in, and then I just get that bally pilly disaster, and then I'm like,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
this one doesn't do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, good. I hate that. It's a pet peeve of mine too. So,
Me too.
What else does vitamin C do for your skin?
Well, like we talked a little bit about vitamin, when you get older, you start losing collagen.
Mm,
And collagen is going to be that thing that keeps your skin elasticity flexible. You want to have flexibility in your skin because when you lose the flexibility and you lose your skin elasticity, that's when everything starts sagging and drooping and just kind of hanging. And
mm,
vitamin C is that ingredient that is really it's going to penetrate really deep into your skin. It's going to stimulate those fibroblasts. Those fibroblasts happen deep, deep, deep in your dermis, and they
mm,
actually are what's responsible for causing collagen induction. So you're going to get collagen induction. Vitamin C is also a really, really beautiful ingredient to help brighten your skin. So if you ever look in the mirror and you're just like, my skin looks really dull, like I don't feel like I have any brightness or shininess to my skin, you're lacking vitamin C. Vitamin C is also going to help if you have hyperpigmentation. I have a lot of hyperpigmentation from sun damage. I was a product of the late 80s, early 90s when we just used to slather on anything that would cause us to fry in the sun, included laying on black garbage bags. That's what we
oh
did.
gosh.
And you have
See, I couldn't do that
hyperpigmentation.
because I burn. I was a burner, so I got lucky in the end.
Oh, lucky for you. Yeah, lucky for
Mhm.
you. It was a
It was
blessing
a
you didn't even
bummer
know
while it
was
was happening.
happening.
Everybody was out in the sun and I was like burned. I could go out like one day and then it was over. One summer I even got uh what's that poison when was it I got sun poison. My skin was like, yeah,
Sun
I got sun
poison.
poison.
Yeah, you got sun poison.
Yeah.
But it's also going to help, like if you have any type of dark spots, sunspots, hyperpigmentation, it's really going to help to even your skin tone. It's really important to remember that this is not going to be a product that you can, win in a giveaway and use one day every 2 weeks.
Hmm.
You're going to have
Oh
to
yeah.
use this every single day, but if you will set aside, I mean, it takes 2 minutes to pump this out and put it on your skin. But if you take a couple of minutes every morning, pump that on your hands, slather it on your face, I guarantee you in 3 months, and this is going to last you 6 to 9 months, this one full
Wow.
ounce. If you take the time to do that every single morning,
Oop, we lost her. She'll come back. So, I'm
yeah, I'm sorry
realizing,
about that, you guys.
hey, no problem. I'm realizing that I took so many notes that I'm not even like a quarter of a way through of what the notes that I started. So, what's probably going to happen is I'm going to have to, I've been thinking like this is my next evolution is starting to do these type of videos where I narrate. I just hate my voice and it's really hard, but I think I'm going to just have to do that. Um, and do a 3-part series where I just do videos because I have so many notes and I'm not even getting half of them out. There's so much in this. There was
Amy,
so much.
there's so much, and we're our own worst critics. I hear my voice and I just kind of cringe, but for what it's worth, your voice is very, very soothing. It's very, very comforting. So you need to put that aside, and your voice is a voice that's really, really easy to listen to. I think I watch a lot of YouTube videos, you guys, and I think that Amy puts out really, really good content. Her content that she puts out, you can tell she spends a lot of time like editing her content and really adding a lot of extras. And in my opinion, I mean, there's value in that because it's something that just kind of draws you in. You
Yeah,
could,
I don't know why I
anytime
do
I'm
the
watching a
extras though.
video,
I wish I had, nobody else is like,
Amy,
people aren't doing the
stop it.
extras right now, and it's not what people want to watch. So I feel like maybe I should stop doing all the extras. I don't know. That was
I
just an outward thought that I let
I
out.
love your
So,
extras. I
well, I love your voice too.
love
And
your extras, and I think,
you have that southern voice that everybody loves. So
oh gosh, I
you
can't pronounce
do.
anything correctly. Is that what
I
people love?
can't. People love southern accents. They do. I love southern accents. And, and I live pretty close to the South. Michigan, people like everybody, my whole family's from Kentucky, so I'm just I guess I'm nasally and I don't pronounce words correctly either. So I don't know. You're
No,
right.
I think,
We're all
Amy,
our
that you
own
don't give
worst
yourself
critics.
enough credit.
Well, I feel like I
I think you
had
don't give yourself enough credit.
I feel like I brought you on for to encourage me tonight. I really didn't, guys. I really didn't, but I feel like you're like my cheering section tonight. It feels really good. Feels awkward, but it feels good too.
No, I'm always your cheering. Don't let it feel
It's
awkward because
hard to
I'm
hear
just
good
telling
things.
you, like, it is. It's really, really hard sometimes to just accept somebody when they just want to compliment you, especially
Hmm.
if you are from just a what's a good word? Especially if you just kind of have a background that's just kind of complicated. Sometimes it's really hard for, somebody to just compliment you and you just say thank you. But
Hmm.
I mean, I can relate to that too. But I just want you to know there are a lot of times whenever I go onto YouTube and I have friends that are like, professional editors or whatever. And then I go
Hmm.
to your channel and, you know, Amy, you are really, really, really good at what you do. You are really, really fantastic at what you do. You have an ability to create content that, in my opinion, not everybody has. It's not just something that you just, I mean, I sure don't have it. I mean, struggling to put, yeah, I don't got it. But Amy really, really has it, and it comes really, really easy for her. It comes really, really naturally for her. So, you know, don't ever be in the situation where you're just like, well, yeah, thank you. Because I mean, I'm just telling you, Amy. I think that you're really, really you're talented when it comes to editing videos. You're really, really talented when it comes to content. I think that it comes naturally for you. I enjoy watching all of your videos. If I ever click on one of your videos, like I'm there. I'm binge watching everything that you have. So,
Thanks. I think this maybe Casey Anthony case is it's kind of hit home, and it's really been hard for me to even I couldn't I almost changed the case, and I just don't want people to believe her, and it just is so important to me because it's just not right when people lie in court. It really bothers me. And I think the case has just got me out of whack because I was so eager. I just couldn't wait until the 29th. And then when I started watching it like halfway through, I thought, "Uh-oh, this is not the reaction I thought I would have." So, I think it just has hit me in a way that I think all cases, like if you do true crime, you're doing it for a reason. In all cases, or eventually, if you do enough cases, one's gonna hit home. And I think this is the one for me. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really
no, don't be
sorry, guys.
sorry. I really think Don't be sorry, Amy. Don't be sorry. I think whenever you have a pure and genuine heart, and you relate yourself to a case that kind of hits home for you, it's impossible if you have a heart for it not to just hit home with you. And I think that there are a lot of cases out there that do that for a lot of people. I think that that's what draws people to those cases. You know, it's just when you can relate to something. When you've been
Yeah.
there, you've lived it, you've done that, you can relate to it. And I think that that is your experience with this case. I think that it's just a case that you feel really, really strongly about. Um, that's why I can't say enough for everybody to go back to the beginning and watch all of this. Don't let this 3 episode Peacock episode, you know, make you base your opinion on just this 3 part episode, because there's a whole lot more. And there's actually, in my opinion, real people out there that have actually lived the allegations and the narrative that she's tried to paint. There's really people out there that have actually lived that. And
Yeah.
when you have somebody that kind of they kind of make light of that situation that you've lived personally, it can affect you. It can
Yeah.
really, really affect you. It's really, really, really easy sometimes for people to make light of things when they haven't really, really lived those. And this is just my opinion.
Hmm.
But
This
when
is
you
just
have
all of
somebody
our
that has
opinions.
really, really,
Yeah, this is just our
yeah,
opinions. We urge you to go and research, like she's saying. But go ahead.
yeah, but when you have somebody that has lived those allegations, they've lived that life, and then they go and watch something like this, you know, it affects them, and it affects them in more ways than one. And in my opinion, she's just not one of those people that have lived this. But Amy, I adore you. You know, I appreciate you so much for being that person that has just always empowered me, supported me, encouraged me. I always enjoy my lives with you. I think that you are absolutely spectacular.
I just don't feel like I did my best on this, and I just feel like I guess I feel bad about it. I had a really hard time with this. I just want you guys to know that I had a really hard time with this. Um, and so it was hard for me to, I didn't want, I don't know, I just didn't want to do all the research. I guess I have to like just go slowly into this because the things she's saying are like big. She's like people who accuse other people of things that they probably didn't do and that could ruin their lives is just like a horrible thing to do to her brother and her father. Um, she says that her father came in every night up until the age of 12 and then just stopped. And then after her father left at age 12, then her brother started coming in to the age of 15. And, but he didn't rape her or R word her, excuse me, R word her. He didn't R word her. I'll have to delete that out. He didn't R word her, but it was close enough. And just like that's a horrible thing to say about your brother and your father if it didn't happen. I believe she said something about like how her mother wanted to keep her a little girl and didn't want her to grow up and become sexual. And I think that probably was true. And when a parent tries to repress sexuality that's starting to bloom and bud, what happens? It just becomes out of control sexuality. And so, um, and she does talk about. in this first episode, she talks about how who Kaylee's father was. She lets us know that it was due to her being ard at a house party, and the reason she didn't tell anyone was because she felt like people who drank at house part girls that drank at house parties aren't listened to, which yes, she's got these points that are just like, yeah, it's true. People do blame girls that go to house parties, and you know they should have known better, or what they dressed and whatever. So, I mean, she didn't deserve that if that was true. But the guy who she said was the father, he didn't deserve that either. So you have to
Yeah.
look at the
And
things that Casey says, and you can see the good things, but you also please follow the line backwards to, yeah, she let a guy believe her whole pregnancy that he was the father. So,
in my opinion, it's always really, really easy. I mean, if you guys don't know anything about me, like I had a really, really a long life of addiction. And so I lied and I schemed and I scammed and I manipulated. I've been sober for almost 10 years. And if you are, once you kind of learn that, that's always going to kind of be your, it's going to be your momentum. That's what you're going to feed on when you know how to lie and scheme and scam and manipulate. And I don't ever want to be one of those people that downplays anybody's personal experience, but from somebody that has had a life of all of the above, I know how I have reacted in certain situations, and in my opinion it doesn't add up to how she has played out. And I know everybody's situation is different.
mhm,
So I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm downplaying anything. But
mhm,
I think if you are ever in the situation where you are able to kind of go with a narrative and you have somebody, even if it's one person that kind of believes you, you kind of just go with it. And from that
mhm,
one person that believes you, you gain two people. And then you gain three people. And then before you know it, you have a whole kind of corner that just believes you. And that's what you go off of. And so you just kind of stick to that story. So
mhm,
it's really, really, really important for anybody that is brand new to this case to, I can't say it enough, watch all of it, you guys. Watch everything that you can dig up on this case. It's really, really important to watch it, because if you just base your opinion off of this Peacock documentary, then I'm afraid it's going to taint your judgment. And,
mhm,
we want the truth. I
mhm,
mean, Kaylee still deserves justice. She
mhm,
still deserves justice.
mhm.
14 years later, she still deserves it. So it's really, really important for you to watch all of it. Watch everything that you can find on it and then form your opinion.
I'm going to be putting a lot of stuff out about it too, because though I didn't want to go into it, I went into it because I felt like I needed to. So it's actually helping heal me too. So I think that's what true crime is about. People don't understand sometimes why people like true crime, but I think it helps me be more aware of my situations and my surrounding. I know what I would do if somebody tried to attack me. I'm pretty, I know I'm going to fight with all my might not to go to a second location. I know that. And I think, like, if you talk to anybody that knows true crime, they kind of know, like, what they would do in certain situations, or they have an idea, at least, what they're going to do in certain situations. And um, so I think that I'm going to be putting a lot of Casey Anthony stuff out, and Kaylee too. Kaylee. I'm going to put a lot of Kaylee stuff out. So it
Yeah, well,
just
I
makes.
can't wait to watch all of the content that you put out about it. I really, really enjoy your content, Amy.
Thank you. I enjoy your content too. So, do you have any last things you want to talk about with the vitamin C?
I don't have anything that I want to say other than vitamin C, or just be something that you're incorporating into your AM skincare regimen. Please don't forget to subscribe to Amy's channel. You guys, if you take just a few minutes to watch one of her videos, you will be drawn in. I went down the rabbit hole more than one time. So we appreciate everybody that showed up for tonight. And, it means a lot whenever you take the time to subscribe to her channel, because it really does help to support her and show her that you appreciate the content that she puts out. It's not really always really, really easy to just edit videos. And she does a fabulous job at editing her videos. So if you can, like the video or subscribe to her channel, it's just a really easy way to say thank you for the content that you're putting out.
Thank you, Angela. And everybody, please go to Angela. Obviously, you know how great she is just by, I mean, she's just wonderful and she's a kind, caring, sweet friend. And she has so much information on her channel about skincare, and there's a little bit of true crime sprinkled in there. And it's just the wealth of knowledge about skincare. And she can take, I've said this before, but you can take, obviously, like vitamin C, you can take one thing and just really talk about it for a long period of time. And that's impressive.
Oh, thank you, Amy. You're so sweet. I always enjoy our lives. It's the best time.
So I want to remind people before you go that there is a skincare giveaway. Just put a comment down in the comment section below. And I think you said 48 hours we were going to draw. In 48 hours, we will draw the vitamin C that is a dupe for a very high end vitamin C, um, one of Angela's favorites.
Yeah, you guys. So be sure and leave a comment. And in 48 hours from the time Amy gets this video uploaded, we will do a giveaway for this. This is such a beautiful vitamin C. So if you don't comment, shame on you. You're missing out. I will make sure to get this sent out to you. So just be sure 48 hours from the time this video uploads, you can leave any comment you want. Hi, enjoyed your life, whatever the comment is. And then me and Amy will be sure and pick a winner for this, and I'll get this shipped out to you.
And she does do, before I knew Angela, I won one of her contests, and it was just a bundle of amazing stuff. So, and Angela ships anywhere. So even if you're out of the United States, if please leave a comment, because she has said to me, wherever you're at, she will send it to you.
That's right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've shipped stuff to the Philippines. I've shipped stuff all over. So it doesn't matter. We want to always make sure that if you're taking the time to watch our videos, that we appreciate you. And that's kind of our, grateful way of showing that we appreciate you. And we don't ever want to put stipulations on just shipping this here and there. So regardless of where you are, leave a comment, and we'll be sure to get this shipped out to you if you win the giveaway.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I love giveaways. I'm just all about them. And I love little giveaways because I'm more likely to win. So this is going to be a smaller giveaway. So enter, you're more likely to win.
That's right. I had one person on one of my giveaways. I just had like a couple, 2 or 3 people that entered. So yeah, that's right. If you
Yep,
don't leave a comment and enter to win this giveaway, then shame on you. You're missing out on a really, really fabulous product. So
exactly. So, well, Angela, thank you. I had such a fun time tonight. It was so much, I was so worried, but I think I get really worried, and then and when I come on, it kind of lets go, and you're like, ah.
Well, don't think you're alone, because when I come onto these lives, I'm a nervous wreck. I'm just like kind of like a basket of nerves.
You
And
don't
you
seem like
always just really, really, no, no. Well, I can pretend really well, I guess,
it.
because you always really make me feel just that everything's going to be okay. I feel like I'm hanging out with a friend and we're just kind of chit chatting about what we think's
Mhm.
interesting. So another live that I really, really enjoyed.
Me too. Oh, and I just wanted to say really quickly, my worries are not unfounded. Before I came on here, I was reading somebody had done a review on this docu-series, and somebody commented, I had put that I was very upset about it and I had cried, and somebody commented below and he was like, I believe her. She was a victim. Her dad did this to her. And I said, congratulations, you believe exactly what she wants you to believe. And then he comes back and he started like saying stuff about my channels, my spooky ooky channel, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, you hurt my channel. It's like, I don't understand why people feel like they can't just have a conversation without like going at somebody. But um I just, my fears are not unfounded because this person believed it, believed the docu-series. So I feel like it's important, like Angela said, to do your research. And I'm going to help you do your research because I'm going to start putting stuff on my channel that you can do your research with. I want you for sure to see both sides of the situation, of the case, I should say.
Yeah, well, let's just kind of let's leave a words of wisdom for that person that let that comment. You know, if you are somebody for the first time, that this is the first time that you have ever heard about the Casey Anthony case and you are watching the Peacock documentary, then it's really, really important for you to remember that there are always, always two sides to every story. And a lot of times when you have one person that is so vocal about their opinion, and they are known for stretching the truth, not telling the truth, are they believable? Are the truth that they're telling finally their truth that they're telling? So don't just always just leave yourself with believing that one side of the story. Always know that there are two sides to a story, and then there's the truth. And I will leave you with that.
Exactly. So do your research and buy your vitamin C or enter the contest and possibly win. Okay, Angela,
So
we'll
much fun, Amy.
it was, and we'll plan another one for sure. One where I'm less emotional.
No, I can't wait. Thank you so much. I
I
hope you
can't
have
wait
a
to.
beautiful, beautiful week. It's almost Christmas, so that's always
Mhm.
fun. And thank
Yeah.
you for having me on your panel. And we will see you on the next time we do a skincare and suspects.
Okay. Bye, Angela. Okay, so that was Angela from Angela's Aging Essentials. I will put all her stuff down in the bio below. Make sure you go and check out her channel. It's a wonderful channel, and I learned so much from it. And as you can tell, she's a very kind hearted person and very easy to watch and get to know. And please go to her channel. And so I want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. If you could just take a quick moment before you leave and just click that like button, or you could even do the dislike. Either one helps me. So whether you like it or you don't like it, I want to know. So I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.